Let's talk about cruises and casinos in Singapore.
Lovely. Great.
So, welcome viewers to a new podcast on Insider Opinion. Today's podcast is on our new segment on popular travel destinations, and we are exploring Singapore as a tourist destination today. We have with us Mr. Akash. He's the founder of Elite Travels in Bangalore. It's a 14-year-old travel agency which has catered to more than 30,000 travelers with amazing travel experiences till now.
Hi, Pratik, and hi to all the viewers and listeners out there. My name is Pratim Akash, and I'm from Elite Tours and Travels Bangalore. So, like Pratik just told, that we started our journey in 2011, and we started curating a lot of international vacations, primarily then, and it was mainly for the individual and the family segments. But with time and things started changing in the travel fraternity, we migrated even into the MICE segment, which is basically catering to large groups and corporate clients. So we do a lot of conferences, events throughout the globe. That has been our journey so far.
What
Yeah.
makes Singapore such a popular travel destination?
Why Singapore is so popular? Being such a small country, it's only about 710 kilometers, square kilometers, but still, it's the world's financial capital, and the top banks world across have their presence in Singapore. It's a very multicultural region, so you would not. It's very common in Singapore to find people of all races. So they are not very religion specific. But if I have to just put it across in terms of numbers as how the geography and their culture is, so about 70% of them are Chinese, and 13 to 14% come as Malaysians, 8 to 9% Indians, and the rest 8 to 9% belongs to Europeans and the other bifurcation. Now, amongst this, the predominant religion that is followed in Singapore is Buddhism, followed closely by Malay. Because of the Chinese population, you'll see a lot of Buddhist temples around. There are some fantastic Buddhist temples. Indians residing there, 8 to 9%, majorly Tamilians. You have very, very popular Hindu temples, including the Rama temple, which is very profound. And a lot of people during their trip visit to this particular temples as well. So, considering that, yes, Singapore has been a very popular destination amongst people, and up to an extent, when you compare in terms of the pricing and everything for the destination, it still falls into the category of a mid-budget destination, not like a completely luxury destination where you'll be spending lakhs. But even with a family of three, it falls under a very good bracket of budget for most travelers in the Indian culture. So yes, I think that's where I would rate Singapore as a very popular destination.
So let me continue from there and tell our viewers about the flight options from India, from maybe Bangalore, Mumbai, New Delhi to Singapore, and also what are the visa formalities.
Okay, I'll start with the visa formalities. It might seem that there are a lot of things needed, but simple. There are four jurisdictions of Singapore. So basically, it's divided into different parts of India. Chennai for the South India, Mumbai for the West, center is Delhi, and then we have Calcutta. So basically, applicants can go through any of your travel agencies. Direct submissions are not allowed. It's an online application, but your documents get deposited. So basically, no matter which city you're living in, based on your jurisdiction, for example, Bangalore, your documents would go to Chennai, and you would apply your visa through the Chennai consulate. The major documentation what will be needed is three things. I would put it into your bank statement, which is basically 6 months bank statement, having a decent enough balance of 1.5 to 2 lakhs per person. Then you have your 3 years ITR and your current occupation. Now, your current occupation, if you're an employee, you can provide an NOC from your company, which is basically stating your leave, that you're granted leave for so and so dates for travel to Singapore, along with your pay slips, 3 months pay slips. And this will prove what you're doing currently in India. And that should be good enough, along with the simple cover letter, your e-tickets, and your hotel stay. So once you have this in place and you send it along with your passport and your old passport, photographs. Singapore photographs are different. Unlike any other country, they come for matte finish. The embassy specifically requires a matte finish photograph. Any of the leading photo studios, when you walk in and just tell them that you need a visa photo for Singapore, they would be more than obliged, and they're all well versed that the matte finish photo is what is required. And the total duration, what it might take, I would say it's better to apply at least a month prior. They don't accept applications before a month. So 30 days or 25 days before your trip is a good time to apply for your visa. And usually the turnaround time is 3 working days. So if you put your application on a Tuesday, within Friday, you'll have your visa as well. So it's a very, very simple visa. But these three major important things, just remember, you need your ITRs, 3 years ITRs, you need your bank statement for 6 months, and you require your current occupation. For business owners, it'll be their trade license, the GST, which is having their name. And for employment, people can give their salary slips. This is with regard to the visa. And I hardly see any rejections. Rejections might be for the silliest of reasons. But one insider tip, what I would like to give to most of the viewers is always submit a new photograph. We have seen cases just being rejected because of an old photograph, or people traveling multiple times, they would have used the same photograph prior and they're resubmitting the same photograph just because they have it and they don't want to click a new one. That's always been a red flag. Embassy wants your latest photographs. So keep that one thing in mind and have a good balance. When you're giving your bank statement, do not make a transfer just overnight, one day before your travel. I would suggest you keep this balance at least for a month and then plan for it and have your bank statement submitted. So these are some of the key pointers before submitting your visa. And the application, it is free to download. It's called the 14A application and it's freely available online. Any of our travel agencies can send it to you. Once you fill it, you just got to affix your photograph and fill in the basic information and it gets submitted to the consulate. There are multiple airlines and multiple hubs. As I told you, Singapore is like a frontier travel destination in India. You have great connectivity from Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta. So multiple hubs, no matter which part of India you're located. Predominantly, if I have to talk about South India, Chennai and Bangalore have the best connectivity. If you're looking at the most economical fares, I would suggest you check Chennai because at times we have seen fares 10 to 12,000 lower when compared to Bangalore per person. So if you're a family of 4 traveling, you're easily saving 50,000 bucks if you're traveling from Chennai. So definitely do check. It might seem, but then now Vande Bharat trains with the timings and the duration, they very easily connect you to Chennai and you can take your flights easily from Chennai. You have Singapore Airlines, which is the national carrier and the best carrier. If I have to put across, if somebody is looking at luxury and they want the best airline to travel in, it's going to be Singapore Airways. The second airline is Air India. You have great connectivity from Mumbai, from Bangalore, from Chennai. And the third airline is Indigo. Indigo also has started doing very well. The only thing about Indigo is their timings. It might seem a little odd because they arrive very early in the morning and they depart. They have a second flight now to Bangalore, thankfully, which is in the evening. So which gives people enough time even on the last day to probably check out, finish all their shopping and then get to the airport. So the most economical one will be either Indigo, then Air India and then Singapore Airlines. So this is the price wise how I would categorize it.
Of course, Singapore Airlines is the best. It has been the best from all these years in all
True.
the
It
services,
is.
right?
It is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So let me come to most, I would say, my favorite part of this
Okay.
conversation, right? Let's talk about cruises and casinos in Singapore.
Lovely. Great. Okay. So I would suggest, like I told you, we did recommend people to plan a 5 night or a 4 night itinerary on a minimum. But if somebody is having the budget and if somebody wants to experience cruise, Singapore is one of the best destinations in Asia. You have some of the frontier cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, Genting Dream, and now the latest cruise line, which is Disney. Disney has also announced their cruise lines, which is starting sailing from December 2025. So people have already started booking the Disney cruises for families with kids. It is the ultimate cruise experience that you can get. Itineraries are already put out on the Disney website. They have a lot of sailing in from starting from December 2025 all the way until April, May. The itineraries are already put out. They have a 3 nighter and a 4 nighter. Now, if I have to put my personal experience of cruising and recommend a minimum number of nights for cruise, a minimum number would be 3. Singapore is very popular for the 2 nighter cruise as well, wherein you depart on day 1 in the evening, you're cruising on that night, you reach Malaysia the next day morning, you can explore Malaysia for about 6 to 7 hours, you can disembark from the ship, You're again got back on the ship by evening 5 p.m. and next day morning you got back to Singapore. So basically, it's about a 36 to 38 hours of sailing experience, and it is for those who are limited on time and budget, who just want to explore cruising once. They can definitely opt for the two-nighter cruise. But for them who really want to get a hang of the cruising experience, I would definitely suggest the three-nighter. You have an option to choose from the Malaysia and the Thailand sailing. So the three-nighter and the four-nighter basically gets divided. On certain dates, it sails to Malaysia. On certain dates, it sails to Thailand. So travelers can decide based on their dates. The cruise dates are fixed. So always, when you're planning an itinerary around a cruise, first shortlist on your cruise dates. Once you have your cruise date in place, your rest of the itinerary can build around it. Until and unless if you start building your itinerary first and then you realize, oh my God, the cruise is not available on that day, it's a big issue. And most of the people tend to miss out because of that reason. The first thing when you're planning to put cruise in your itinerary, go look at the website, look at the dates, see which date the sailing is there, and just plan it according. First, select the cruise date, and then everything else will fall in place. So, most importantly, Genting Dream has been one of the key cruise lines, I would say, because they cater to the entire Indian palate. You have Jain cuisine. Vegetarianism and vegan cuisine is something that has started taking a lot of grip. So there is a complete different section given to that. Then there is international cuisine. You have everything that Genting Dream can cater to. It is an 18-decker ship. You have slides, you have rope climbing, you have jacuzzis. You can imagine there is a zip line. It takes you over the water. It's a very, very thrilling experience. And I'm talking all of this is on board. You're not going away from the cruise. So 3 nights, you have some amazing shows. There are some magical shows, some performances. So your entire 3 days will also seem less. There is so much to do. The cruise line puts in all the effort curating your days. All the information is given out to you on a day-to-day basis, what time, where things are going to happen. So the guest is always in a confusion. Should I do this? Should I do that? Some of the leading bars, some of the leading cuisines, some premium dining outlets, all of this apart from the main restaurant which gets assigned to you, wherein all your meals are practically included. You also have specialty dining experiences for those who are always looking at something extra. So a cruise is not to be missed on, especially when you're traveling to Singapore. At least try to add it for 2 nights, and 3 is wonderful. So yeah, that's about cruises.
Nice. And so let's talk about casinos now. So Singapore, there are casinos. I know that there is a casino in MBS, the Marina Bay Sands.
So there is a casino in Sentosa. There's a casino in Marina Bay Sands. And then if you're opting for any of the cruise lines, all the cruise lines have a deck or at least half a deck completely dedicated to casino. Indian travelers can take visa cost-free entry into the casino. Basically, it's completely free to enter the casino. Obviously, you can buy in your chips and then play to whatever you want to and try your luck. But entry is completely free. And based on what games you prefer, you can choose the casino. Marina Bay Sands is huge. And when you talk about legalities, I'll just tell one thing. Indians and foreign nationals are easily allowed into these casinos, which is on land in Marina Bay Sands, but they do not allow their local citizens itself, Singaporeans. So that is one thing which is shocking. They don't want their own citizens to lose money. So they don't allow their own citizens. But yes, Indian citizens, as there are foreign nationals, they can easily visit the casinos without any issues.
Yeah.
And they're
And
open
just
throughout the night. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to clarify, we are not promoting going to casinos. We are just saying this is one more attraction, and if you're going there, just be responsible. Just have fun. Yeah,
The most important thing is have fun. Yeah, that's right. Enjoy the entire ambience, and then yeah, I think come back. You don't go to win money. You just go to have fun. I think that should be the way it should be
true.
put.
A few things are left, like nightlife. So, which are the prominent places in Singapore for nightlife?
Okay, so if you take the number one destination in Singapore for nightlife, it's got to be Clarke Quay. So Clarke Quay is one major region. It is very closely located to Little India and Chinatown. Hardly 10 minutes on a Grab or an Uber would get you to Clarke Quay. It is packed on the weekends, and you have very very good clubs, high-end dining overlooking the entire bay. You have some adventure that you can do in the night. There is something called as a reverse bungee, which is so popular in Clarky. People go to do that at night. It's a crazy experience to do that, and it's worth your time as well. And a lot of people, the young crowd of Singapore and the foreigners who really want to enjoy nightlife, they come to Clarky and even Arab Street. So Arab Street also has a few of the places which can take forward, and people can explore that. But predominantly, I think Clarky is the place. You have some Bollywood clubs like Gabbar. Then you have some very cool bars like Cuba. I was there when I was there in Cuba. Some great live music, live bands, and you can dine around overlooking the entire bay. Very beautiful experience in terms of the nightlife.
Great. Are there any local apps or resources that travelers should download or use to explore Singapore more?
So definitely, I would say that if you've whether you've planned your trip on your own or to your travel partner, there are two major apps I would definitely ask people to download. One is Google Translate, not just for Singapore but for any country, because Singapore, like I told you, is multilingual. Most of them speak Singlish, which is basically a confluence of English and Singaporean. They speak Malay, they speak Tamil, and Mandarin, because a huge population is Chinese. And second of it is Grab. Grab is basically an application that you can use to call in for food. It's basically the Swiggy, Uber, Zomato of Singapore and Southeast Asia. So you can do everything with the Grab application, and it will be the most recommended app. Once you're done with your day, you just want to grab a ride to Clarky or any of the places. It is very reliable. It is very safe. Singapore is a very safe country, and the like I told you, the total population is just 60 lakhs, and even out of that, about 20 lakh people are just non-residents, basically just workers and immigrants who have been working on different companies, and they are there. The local population is just the nationals of Singapore is only about 30 to 40 lakhs. So yes, install these two apps, which will definitely help you during your course. And even Happy Cow, if you are predominantly vegetarians, I highly suggest you to download Happy Cow, because you get an array of recommendations of vegan food, veg food, which is available. You just open Happy Cow and it lists you by distance and the preference of cuisine, whether you want Indian, continental, Chinese. It'll give you all the restaurant names with the details. So definitely you should try to get these three apps before you travel to Singapore.
Great. Thank you, Akash. I think I have a last question from you. As travel agency, what is this? What is a hidden gem, or maybe a few places in Singapore which are off the beaten path places that you offer to your customers? Now, if that is a secret, you can tell us, and we won't ask you that.
I
But if you can, definitely help our viewers to know such places.
I understand. I totally understand. See, I might not be able to list out all the things. There are quite a few offbeat things to do, though Singapore might seem small. But one of the most offbeat things, what we recommend, especially to couples, who travel, Singapore is not known a lot for its beaches. What we suggest is people to add on to their itinerary a couple of nights to a small island called as Bintan. Now, Bintan Island is just about 1 hour boat ride. It basically belongs to Indonesia, but the visa on arrival, you don't need to do any prerequisites. The visa on arrival, even for Indian nationals, is just at about 1,500 rupees, and it has some of the best beaches, turquoise beaches, very laid back atmosphere. For especially for honeymooners, it is one offbeat thing, and Bintan can be a very good popular getaway for about 2 nights for your beach vacation if you want to combine it with Singapore. And second, not many know it, but it's probably one of the cheapest Michelin star meal that you can have. Singapore is known for its hawker culture, the street carts, the street food carts. So there is a very popular chef which has got the Michelin star repeatedly. It's Chef Chan. People can Google him and try to visit his stall. The most popular dish that he serves is chicken rice. Unfortunately, I am a vegetarian, so I have not tasted. But yes, for the people who eat, definitely it is something that they can have the experience of eating a Michelin star meal at the least cost possible, because we all know how expensive Michelin star restaurants are. So that can be something that people can really add to their itineraries and get the culinary experience as well, along with all the adventure and fun that they're doing in Singapore.
Great, Akash. I think that was really good insight. Thank you for sharing with our viewers. And hawker culture, definitely in Singapore is kind of a unique culture in
It
Southeast
is.
Asia, right?
It is.
Definitely
It is.
somebody who's going there should visit a hawker center and experience that.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
Even for vegetarians, there are quite of options. Not
Yes.
just that, but predominantly, yes, it's the non-veg that is popular,
Yes.
especially the Chinese and the Malays who have opened these hawker stalls, and they have got immensely popular in the Singapore culture. So please do
Yes. Of
try that.
course. Of
Yeah.
course. Thank you, Akash. Thank you today for giving your time. That
Yeah.
was a great conversation with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.